Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the GC Show. I hope y'all are doing absolutely amazing here on this Monday afternoon. We have our third guest episode here in season 2. We have Lewie back on the show. How we doing, Lewie?
Radical.
Lewie's second appearance on the show. The first time he was here back in season 1 was kind of a joint lesson where we both combined to teach a lesson about brotherhood. But here in his second appearance, we're going to get more of his story. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So to begin this week's episode, I want to hear a quick, short, 60-second version of your testimony.
So we were raised in St. Louis our whole lives, and I was diagnosed with diabetes at 11 years old. Moved here because we need a bigger outreach, and it hasn't been barbecue chicken, but we've made it through. So, yeah, it's there have been some dark times, but we're here.
Right on. So, before we get into the medical stuff, because that's obviously the big part of your story, I would say, how do you feel like the move to Florida has affected you?
It's just it still affects me a lot. St. Louis, just being in touch with your home base, there's a certain comfort there. And so I feel like through this all, I've had to learn to kind of rely on God versus earthly things.
Yeah, it's definitely hard too moving, because especially with all of our family living in St. Louis and moving to Florida, some of it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So now jumping into the medical stuff, I don't know if you want to explain exactly what your medical situation is. It's pretty confusing. I would encourage you ask Lewie about it. He would maybe be willing to tell you about it. But through this medical journey, what has been the hardest part about it, in your opinion?
I just think the daily, because the daily, I feel like before I used to even if bad stuff would happen, it wouldn't affect my daily, but now my daily is restricted, and it just affects me every second. So it's harder to enjoy life almost,
Yeah, I think because with the blood sugar stuff that's going on, that's mainly the main issue. But even how it's affected you being able to play football and stuff like that, it's and limited on food that you can eat and stuff. I can definitely see where that would be very difficult to not just have the freedom to do whatever you want, but be restricted, oh, you can't do this, even if you want to, you literally can't. I can definitely see where that would be difficult. So this journey's been about 4 years now, right? It's 4 years at the beginning of October. How would you say that your mindset has shifted over time throughout these last 4 years?
I feel a lot of it, what I try to focus on now is humility, because my identity before all this was I was healthy, I played sports, I was good at sports, I had good grades and stuff. So that was my identity, my confidence. And I feel through this all, I've had to kind of make myself low. I know there's a verse that says you have to make yourself low to make the kingdom rise. So I feel just humility is a big part of it. I'm still not very humble, but I'm working on that.
Oh, I'm the most humble person ever.
Yeah, exactly.
How would you say throughout this time that this situation has built your faith in God?
I think there are so many bad days, and I think in those bad days I can still at the end of the day be yeah, God's still with me, where before I wasn't as reliant on him as I am in the day-to-day now.
It's pretty good, yeah, being reliant on God in the day-to-day. So throughout these last 4 years, what would you say that you have learned throughout this time?
A lot. I don't know, I've learned again, I said, humility and trusting God too. So I feel like now I'm still learning that, but I'm still learning how to like daily trust in God in the little things, because I still like worry a lot about things I shouldn't worry about, so I'm still working on that. And like also I think a lot about the past, and so I it all comes down to trusting in Him, because if you if you're worried about the past, or if you're sad about the past, that means you don't trust in the future that God has for you. So I need to work on that trust.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a big thing. Quote I've heard before is it made me think about when you're saying that is there's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look in your past and you can like learn from it, but you can't. Like once you get deep into that past, you think about it, then like that's when it hurts you a little bit.
Yeah.
I think even too with like, I mean, I know you've learned a lot, and even just all the medical stuff that like we've learned as a family. Even just something as simple as going out in the morning at the sunrise and grounding, like it's something that you wouldn't think has like an impact at all, but I mean, I can even tell in the days where I go out and do it, like there's a significant shift in my energy and how I feel throughout the day, and like the order we eat our foods and stuff like that, and eating a lot of fish because they have omega 3s, I think, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, all those little things over time. I know for you personally, you've learned so many things like about yourself throughout this time. And I just think it's like really cool too, like being on, like for me, being on the outside of this, seeing this, because like I'm kind of seeing how you're growing too, and it's kind of like it's inspiring to me too, seeing like the way that you've been.
You're too sweet.
Seeing the way that you've been able to push through these tough times, but it has been like cool to see like how much we've learned just like as a family as a whole throughout these last couple of years, because I mean, although this situation is terrible, and I mean I have no idea what it's like to like go through it every day, but I feel like as a family we've grown a lot closer and have learned so much that we're going to be able to take with us for the rest of our lives. So
Right on.
although it's a terrible time, you see the blessing in the lesson.
I'm the sacrifice. You should make season 3 should just be about health. About health.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about some controversial topics that might get me canceled.
Fries in the bag, bro.
Oh my goodness, I have like another cough, but I can't get it out. Anyways, what's something about your situation that you wish more people knew and understood?
I think for a while, like kind of my purpose I felt was I wish that people would just understand what I'm going through. Like that was a struggle I had, that people didn't understand like truly the extent that this affected me. And so I wish like people could understand that, but I feel like now, because I struggle with this a lot, it's like people realizing that I'm like a human, because I feel like I dehumanize other people a lot, and I think like I'm the only person, like I'm the only one that matters. Hence my food habits, my eating habits. But I just think like if people realize the extent, then and like that I'm a human, then they'd realize that there's no way I could do this all by myself. That there's no way I could get through it by myself, and like I haven't, to be honest. Like there are a lot of days where I've done nothing, but God's carried me through. So
it's pretty cool, yeah. So I think we kind of both know the answer to this next question. Hopefully this answer is correct for someday. Do you see a day where you are cured and no longer have to deal with the blood sugar problems that you currently go through?
Yeah, I don't think it's far away. I like to think that,
Yeah.
But I try to not let that get in the way of like still working on my calling right now, But yeah, I do think that. I think right now it's a stage of preparation.
Yeah, I think for sure you're gonna be cured someday. There's gonna be a doctor that finally says yes.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's gonna be like the feeling is gonna. Whenever I hear that news, it's gonna be better than like when your team wins a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh man, that.
Not that you know what that's like.
Well, okay, okay, Mister. We had the Blues in 2019, and the Blues in 2026. Mark my words. Whenever this on June whatever 2026.
And the Jags in 2025.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
2026.
Super Bowl 2026. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, also, I think answers yes to this question too. I do see a day where you're cured. I feel like we're so close, right on the cusp, and like all it takes is, I like to think all the time, all it takes is one, right? All it takes is one doctor saying yes, and hopefully the problem gets healed. That's a big thing in life. Is all it takes is one. Like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Who knows how much farther there is to go, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. I fully believe that. So, with what you're going through right now, how do you plan on taking that and using it in the future?
I just feel like I'm hoping like this would be really cool to be on a big stage where I can reach a lot of people for God with my story. But even if it's just like in the grocery store, like I don't know if it was you, but someone telling me just like saying your story to someone like a cashier at a grocery store, like I feel like I could use my story to use my testimony to try to bring the gospel around the world.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, using what you've learned in your situation for the glory of God. I think too, because your story, like, it's a very influential story, in my opinion, very inspiring story. Because just seeing like on the daily how you'll struggle but still like keep pushing, keep fighting throughout this time, and like because it's been 4 years now that you've been dealing with this. I think it's going to be something that's very inspiring for people in the future, and it'll be really cool to see if you can have a big stage to be able to share that story. So it's pretty awesome. So that is a wrap for the first half. That will take us to halftime. Welcome into halftime here on the Lewie interview episode. I don't have a product or anything to promote for Lewie, so I'm just going to promote Lewie himself. He's a really cool guy, likes the Texas Rangers, which is not a great thing, but he loves the St. Louis Blues and he loves the Jags. He's got a very inspiring story, so if you get the chance to talk to him, I would encourage you to ask him about it. He's got a really cool, inspiring story, and for me to be able to see it firsthand, see what he's going through firsthand, has been really inspiring for me to see how he's been able to push through and grind, especially because things are not going his way. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Lewie. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, be sure to let me know down below, because I like hearing, what does GC Show Nation want to hear when it comes to lessons here in Season 2 of the GC Show. And of course, if you have any questions about, Jesus, Christianity, the GC Show, really anything, I'd encourage you to reach out, because the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. As always, if you have any prayer requests, something weighing heavy on your heart, something you're going through, be sure to reach out, whether that's leaving it down below, whether that's messaging me through Instagram, or if you know me personally, messaging me personally, or reaching out to anyone that would be willing to pray for you, because the power of prayer is so strong. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll be getting back into the chair, but for now, let's take it back to the second half. Welcome back into the second half of the Lewie guest episode, the second appearance of Lewie here on the GC Show. So, Season 2, the theme, right, is being called by God, answering the call. And the question I've asked to every guest so far, and I'm going to continue to ask to every guest, is what does being called mean to you personally?
So I think for everyone, we each have special skills for our ultimate calling in order to bring people to Christ. But I also think being called is in the everyday, the little things as well, like holding the door for someone or giving someone a compliment on their outfit.
That's pretty good. I like that, yeah. So, as you go throughout your days, are there ever times where God tells you to do something and you may feel unqualified or unworthy of doing that?
I think really the times I feel like I'm unworthy is after I mess up. Like, I really get those whispers from the enemy, like, saying that. And there was a time that I was, like, really in a dark point where I felt like I thought it was God telling me that. And so I felt separated from him and isolated. But now when I get those talks, like, a lot of times I feel like, yeah, I'm unworthy. And honestly, I am unworthy. I'm not worthy. I'm a human. I mess up.
Amen.
But I'm worthy because of the grace that's in Christ.
It's a great answer there. Yeah, I mean, none of us are worthy to be able to do what we do. I'm not worthy to own this show, but it's because of Christ working through us that we're able to do what we do. That was a great answer right there. So now for someone who may feel unworthy or unqualified, what would you tell that person?
Well, I just gotta say, like, 8th grade year, like, that was a dark time for me. And in that time, I was like, I'm unworthy. And I'd hear, like, God died for you. And I was like, yeah, for everyone else, but not for me, because I'm a screw up. Like, there's no way. God's grace is for everyone, no matter what you do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter what you do, he'll never leave you. He'll never stop pursuing you. And it's the worst thing, but the best thing at the same time, you know?
Oh, gotta love it. So now, just kind of like a childhood question type of thing, or kind of based off of your childhood, I guess. Who or what shaped your worldview the most?
This journey has shaped my worldview so much. This world is so corrupt, unbelievably. The people that you think are supposed to be helping you are backstabbing you. And it just helps you realize, like, actually sometimes it's kind of hard for me to think, like, what I've seen, that there's really God that would let that happen. But it's because I can't see his ultimate plan. Like, there is a God, 100%. And so it's also helped me see that the beauty in the world, like, there has to be a God for that too. If there's such a polar opposite, there has to be a good polar opposite for that as well, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So now what's something that, I'll let you take a sip of your Gatorade real quick. The classic Gatorade, probably fifth of the day. No, I'm just playing. What's something
It's
that...
my 8th.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh. So... We're going to have to keep this in there because this is funny.
Back to, like I said about the eating.
It's crazy. It's only like 4:30 in the afternoon. Are you going to have 9 in honor of the Blues playing at 9:30 tonight?
I actually have at 9. There's one. I had the whole pack of this one.
Oh my gosh.
One that wasn't.
All right, so getting back to the topic, what's something that people would be surprised Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I look over and you're just chugging away. Oh my gosh.
I could have finished that whole thing, bro.
Were you trying to?
Yes.
All right, so, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to lock back in. All right, here we go. What's something that people would be surprised to learn about you?
I can drink a whole Gator in like 15 seconds.
I mean, you're not wrong. Oh my gosh. And I just think the amount of food you can eat is something that people would be surprised to learn about you. I tell people all the time when I'm like, Lewie eats the amount of food as everyone else in our house combined, maybe more. And people are like, oh, there's no way. Like, literally, Lewie, you eat the same amount of food as everyone in our house combined, if not more. I mean, it's insane.
Oh, just don't even sugarcoat it. It's more.
Oh, man. It's funny because it is something very surprising because looking at you, no one would ever guess that you eat the amount of food that you eat. I mean, you just wonder, like, where does that all go? Anyways.
I don't even know what to say to this besides that.
Yeah, and I mean also, too, that, like, you have the medical situation that you're going through, but now people do know about that, so it's not something surprising.
You'd actually be surprised to know I'm a very humble guy.
As he drops money all over the floor. Yeah, let me go pick up my hundreds real quick. That's
Sorry about that.
That's all me. All right, where do you want to grow personally or spiritually in the next year?
I have two things. Like, just like and the sins that I go through, like, that are constant, I want to work on those to cleanse myself from. And then also, often, like, again, like I said, I think about my past.
Sorry, I can't with the
Bro,
Gatorade.
bro, I'm talking about something
Yeah, no,
serious.
sorry. Yeah, that's on me. That's on me.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh. Okay, what's up, bro?
Bye.
Sorry, I interrupted you. That's on me.
This is why people probably don't think I'm real.
Why?
Not your fault, Lewie. It's a tough crowd. Oh, like I said earlier, like a lot of times I think about the past and I'm like wanting to go back, but I'm working on that, like trusting God for the future. 'Cause like, right now, if you were just to see my situation, it doesn't look promising. And so sometimes I can see that and think that, but knowing what I know, I think I need to work on that, and that's what I hope that I can work on. Like when I get that urge to be like sorrowful for the loss in my life, to be like, well, look what you have, Lewie.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing to work on. See the negatives in your life, but then look at the other side of that. Say like, even though I might have these bad things I'm going through in life, there's still good in it. I mean, there's so many blessings in life. As long as you're above ground, like God's still good. Even when your body's in the ground, like you're in heaven. So God's good. So.
I'm 6 feet above ground because I'm just tall and nonchalant.
No, you're 5'11". You might be 6 foot.
I'm 6. I'm 6 foot.
Really? Did you measure at the doctor?
No, I'm 6 foot though. Well, last time they measured, I was 6 foot.
Oh, were you on your tippy toes doing that? 6
No.
foot? Oh, okay. So, what's your favorite Bible verse and why?
Well, I've told this before, like at my FCA testimony, I told this, but one time I was on the bus and I was like, I was born May 10th, and there's a reason that everything happens. Like God does everything for a reason. So I'm like, I'm gonna look up 5:10 Bible verse on Google, and 1 Peter 5:10 came up, and I read it and I was like, you know what? I think that applies to me. So that's my favorite verse now. So I thought it was good. It's like I said, 1 Peter 5:10. It reads, "And the God of all grace, who called you to His eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will Himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast." I just think that like applies to me because like right now my health is kind of what is like quote unquote failing me. It's not really failing me, but if there was anything, it would be that. And so it says, "Will Himself restore you?" So that's like health,
Yeah.
That's instantly where my mind goes with it.
Yeah, I think that's so cool because that verse like directly applies to your situation. It's crazy that it's a 5:10 Bible verse, and
Because my birthday is May 10th.
yeah,
Did I say that earlier?
you might have. I don't know if you. I think you did.
Better safe than sorry. Sorry, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, it was more I interrupted you, if anything.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's pretty cool. 5:10 aligning with, your birthday. It's pretty cool. And like you said, everything happens for a reason. So if you could go back and relive, this is actually a new question, by the way. If you could relive one Bible story in person, which one would it be?
I mean, I've always said like Joseph, because his story was like so surreal. I feel like it would be funny to like see him being like, "I saw you guys bowing down to me," and for us being like, but I don't know. Also, like any of Jesus' miracles would kind of be funny to see everyone's reaction, because everyone would be like so shocked.
Oh yeah, I've always thought of like, especially the feeding 5,000, because it says 5,000 men, which means that there's probably a lot more than 5,000 people. You think of the Vice Stars, probably like 10, 12,000 people. Think about everyone in that arena getting what? It's like, oh, I forget the exact number. It's like a very, very small ration of food. Like everyone being full, like that just blows my mind. And the 12 baskets left over is just, it's crazy. It's like any of Jesus' miracles would be so cool to see.
Like it would probably take the amount of Vistar just to fill me up, like that much food just to fill me up. And they only have that.
Let alone the other 4,999 people plus in the arena.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So next question, what's your favorite Christian song? And this could be worship song, Christian hip hop song. I like Christian rap, but like favorite Christian song, whole Christian genre realm. What's your favorite Christian song?
Funny you ask. What's your favorite Christian song?
Oh, you turn it back on me. I've, you know, ever since this was. When did I hear this for the first time? It might have been first year See How I Move. I feel like it was before that though. I Speak Jesus has always been a banger song to me, and it's like a worship song. I love Christian rap too, but I feel like nothing like Christian rap, in my opinion, can't like be above worship music. While they're both very good and I enjoy them both, like I feel like a worship song will always be my top favorite. I Speak Jesus it's like start to finish that song is just amazing in my opinion. That'd be my top favorite.
Yeah, sorry. When I directed at you, I was doing like as a joke, but it came off as rude. So I'm sorry. Will you forgive me just this once?
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like I don't listen to like Christian music a ton. I should listen to it more because I listen to like non-Christian music a lot more. And that's something I've been convicted with for a while. It's like hard to let go of for me. I don't know, but working on it. But I would say, 2 songs, "Quick" by Caleb Gordon.
That's a good one.
I like that one because he says like one of the lines is just because the time running out on the clock doesn't mean you have to blitz, and like I feel like I like that a lot because right now it's like time's running out. That's one of the things that I fear of losing time, and so when I think of that, I'm like, doesn't mean you gotta blitz. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, God's got me. And also, I feel like me personally, like I'm a guy that like, I don't know how to say this, like, because it can be portrayed wrong, but like, hard fought hallelujah. Because I know a lot of us, like, I don't know, it's like a certain part of me has like there's like a fight in me that wants to fight back and against like the bad or the evil spiritual forces in the world. So that's like that kind of feels like when I'm fired up or when I'm in my low, like a hard fought hallelujah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good song. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, "Quick" by Caleb Gordon's another really good one too. Those are 2 great songs you got there. So now this is another fun question I asked in the Maddox episode, and I'm asking it here again. When it comes to the books of the Bible, which 4 are on your Mount Rushmore?
So you gotta have, I feel like you gotta have Genesis and Revelation,
Bang.
And I feel like John, that's my favorite out of the Gospels. And then they're like, I don't have a necessarily a favorite. I think James, Hebrews, and like 1 Corinthians, there are parts of those I like 1 Corinthians 13. It talks about like love.
Oh.
I like that one. And then Hebrews, I think it's Hebrews 12 where it talks about all of these miracles that God performed. And it's like in chronological order, and it's just like satisfying to read it because you can like hear him speaking. He's like, God did this through this, and it's like you can feel like the intensity that whoever wrote it is bringing out, like how unbelievable it is that God
did
performed
all these
those miracles. Yeah. And then James 1:2-4. I forgot what they say, but that I like those a lot. 'Cause it's like something with suffering, how it's for a reason. So I like that.
We'll Bible that real quick. That's our new term instead of like Chat GPT and stuff on Google. You said James 1 verses 2-4.
Yeah.
It says, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind comes your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing." Oh yeah, those are great verses right there. I think James is a really good book of the Bible. And if you're someone who's new to the faith, I would encourage you to maybe start in James. And like John, like you said, too, are two very good places to start. James, like it's just like, it just kind of goes back to the basics, I feel like. And it's very encouraging. It kind of has like it all like scrunched down real quick. So I think, yeah, James is a really good book of the Bible. That's a great Mount Rushmore you got there. I think Genesis is so like underrated. I don't think many people have it up there, but I'm like, it sets the table for what comes later in the Bible. You have to have Genesis on the Mount Rushmore.
And then you got Joseph in there too. And
Yeah,
it's just like,
100%. Wow. And you got like, oh wait, no, Moses that's Exodus, but still Genesis is unbelievable. Really, any book of the Bible is amazing because it's the Bible. But if you had to put 4 on Mount Rushmore, that's a great Mount Rushmore you got there. So now I want to ask, what is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
I think it was David Goggins, but I don't listen to David Goggins a bunch.
It's probably an Instagram clip.
Yeah, it's like not a bad thing too, because he has like good motivation stuff. But he said, like if you're trying to get motivated to do something, just do it, and that's motivation. Motivation isn't building up for it, it's doing it. So I feel like that's something, because I struggle with like, building up the motivation to do stuff. I sit around a lot, but I think I liked that a lot. I thought that was a really smart thing to say.
Yeah, I think that's really good because, I think that's a big thing that a lot of us are looking for in this world is motivation. But it's like, if you only gonna do something when motivation is around, what happens when motivation is not there? You're gonna keep continuing doing it, and that's the big question that you ask. Like, for like something, is it gonna go far, or is it gonna be something that dies off quick? And yeah, that's a great advice there. So now, with that, what's the best piece of advice that you want to give to the listener?
Life is too short to wait. Like, you don't know when the day is coming that you may be taken from the earth, If you're waiting to turn to God, like, I'm not trying to say this to scare you. Like, I'm not convicting you to turn to God, We all have our timing and our own path. And so God will work with you. He'll work on you. And so don't feel like you have to turn to God right now because you might die tomorrow. Although it is a good idea, like, I know it's like it can come off as harsh by saying that, but just like doing that thing, like you said, starting that thing with the GC show. You decided to start after you felt like your life was kind of put in jeopardy, and I feel like I can use that too, like your story, to apply it to mine. Like, just with the simple things that we feel we're called to do, like just do it, because you don't know if you're gonna get that chance again.
That's really good. And like how you said with the simple things, I know even in my life, little simple things that have happened that people have done for me have had the biggest impact on my life. It's never the big things that have the impact on your life, it's the little things. We got the sign hanging up in the living room. It's something about to enjoy the little things. But the little things can go such a long way for people. So it's so important to have that obedience and do the little things and not push it off till later, because like you said, our time is limited and we don't know what day will be our last. That was really good. All right, so that is a wrap for this week's episode. The second time that Lewie is on the GC show, that is a wrap. We'll be jumping back into the chair next week, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And as always, I'm going to let you do the old slogan at the end. No. I have to let you do it. You're the guest on the show. I'll say my quick things real quick. As always, thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, I got to say it right this time. Be great today. Praise God.